Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ryan Drives Canada. I'm excited to introduce to you this 2012 Boss 302 in Kona Blue. This is a true throwback to the 1969 and 1970 Boss 302. It's 302 cubic inches, 5-liter V8 Coyote motor, putting out 444 horsepower and 380 foot-pound of torque. Now, you'll know that that's a little more horsepower and a little less torque than the standard GT for the 5th generation Mustang. That allowed Ford to widen the power band and get a more linear torque curve across the power band of the car. This car peaks out at 7,500 RPM and is an absolute beast on the track. We'll get to that in a second. The Kona Blue is one of my favorite colors. One of the things I love about the Boss 302 in 2012 and 2013 combined, they only made about 4,500, maybe 5,000 of these cars, and the Kona Blue was the rarest. It is probably the most beautiful of them, with the white hood and the white roof and that white boomerang emblem down the side. Now, you do have 19-inch wheels. These black wheels are specific to the Boss 302 with our compound Pirelli P0 wheels. You've got 4-piston Brembo brakes on 14-inch vented rotors, leveling out the car. The car does sit on a 5-way adjustable suspension and is adjustable in the rear of the car and under the hood with a flathead screwdriver. Very simplistic to be able to make this car customized for your driving comfort if you want to drive it around town or on the track. Now, in addition to the 5-way adjustable suspension, the vehicle also has been lowered a bit, 11 millimeters in the front, 1 millimeter in the back, giving it a bit of a raked look. The vehicle also has stiffer bushings, stiffer stabilizer springs, and it also has a fatter stabilizer bar in the back end of the car, allowing it to really hug the road. The faster you drive this car, the more it's going to lower and hug the road. That's what this suspension in this vehicle has been designed to do. It's one of the things that makes the Boss 302 as amazing as it is. Now, when you come take a look at the engine, we do have the 5-liter Coyote power plant. Again, the torque curve has been widened and it's more linear. Now, you guys already know that this is a happy revving vehicle. You do get the majority of your torque above 3,500 RPM, creating a slingshot effect all the way to the 7,500 RPM red line. One of the things that makes this car so special is the intake manifold. It's got what Ford calls a runners in the block intake, and basically they are shorter intake valves, and they're completely vertical, so you get a ton of airflow into the top end of this motor. Now, we've gone ahead and put a Roush cold air intake on the vehicle, and we've also gone ahead and on this vehicle specifically done an ECU flash, giving it an additional 50 horsepower, and we'll get into a little bit of that in a few seconds as well. But some engine bays are just more beautiful than others, and that's one of the things I love about the Boss 302. Everything from that runners in the block intake, the Boss 302 emblem on the top, the Ford serialized badge way up on top there, and the tower brace. It is really one of the most beautiful looking motors that Ford has ever designed. Another really cool feature of the Boss 302 is the quad exhaust. You have side dumps that come out of the side of the car, literally right down here in front of your rear wheel. If you start the car up and put your hand down there, you'll be able to feel the heat and the air pumping off of your hand. And then down here you have the straight rear exhaust as well, looking gorgeous down there, stainless steel pipes. Now, on this car specifically, it's got GT500 rear exhaust. The side dump exhaust is the stock exhaust that came with the car, but we've got GT500 muffler and resonator on this vehicle. In 2012, you had this more of a flat style back end on your rear taillights and this little rear deck lid spoiler. And again, those of you that appreciate the 5th generation Mustang will appreciate this more of a flat look. In comparison to the 6th generation, now the 2015 above has that more 3D look. I know a lot of you guys really prefer this older, boxier style, tough look on these Mustangs. Another amazing feature about the Boss 302 is track keys. So you've got a black key and a red key. Ford designed this specifically for the 2012-2013 Boss 302. Now, there's been a lot of speculation as to what exactly changes with the red key and exactly how much extra horsepower you get. Ford's never come out and said you get exactly this much horsepower with the red key, because the idea behind it is to turn it into a race car. The idea with a race car is a lot of how the vehicle behaves and what you get out of the car is dependent on who's driving it. But what we do know is that when you put in the red track key, it changes over 200 different characteristics about the car. Horsepower gains have been estimated anywhere from 10 horsepower horsepower all the way up to 50 horsepower. And again, a lot of people will say it depends on the driver and what you can get out of the car. Things that change with the red track key, everything from the spark plug mapping to the fuel management system to the camshaft timing, the engine throttle response, the sensitivity of it, the engine braking changes, the throttle positioning changes. Again, 200 different characteristics about this motor and chassis change when you put in that red track key. Now, we'll also get into what's called loopy idle, which is one of my favorite things about the car. When that camshaft timing changes, the characteristics of the muffler and the exhaust system changes as well, giving you the loopy idle effect. We'll give you an example of what that sounds like here in just a minute. Track key again is the red key. We slide this into the ignition and we're going to get a notification right on our dash that says track key active. That does not mean that the track key is enabled. There's a big difference. Track key active means that the vehicle has recognized the track key is in the ignition, but we need to wait a couple minutes for the vehicle to warm up in order for track key to be enabled. Once that happens, the vehicle go into loopy idle, and you know that over 200 different characteristics of the vehicle have changed. Okay, we've got track key enabled here, and you can tell immediately this car has turned into a completely different beast. Sounds entirely different, feels entirely different, and just get to listen to this loopy idle exhaust. It's absolutely incredible. The 5th generation Mustang, you had the V6, you had the GT, you had the Shelby, you had the Super Snake. But the Boss 302 is by far the best balance package that you can get in a 5th generation Mustang. Again, my name's Ryan with Ryan Drives Canada and Key West Ford down here in New Westminster, in the heart of the Lower Mainland in British Columbia. And those of you that are car enthusiasts, those of you that are Mustang collectors, you need to come take a closer look at this ride. 2012 Boss 302 with 22,600 kilometers on it. You can have it for $43,800 Canadian dollars. And again, this car is pretty much stock with the exception of a GT500 exhaust, the Roush cold air intake, and the ECU flash. 444 horsepower from stock, 4.3 seconds 0 to 60, 494 horsepower now, and you're probably at 4 seconds 0 to 60. You get the 4-piston, 14-inch vented rotors, the 3.73 Torsen differential, the 19-inch wheels, the gorgeous Kona blue, the cue ball short shifter, the suede steering wheel, the cloth Recaro race seats. This is an absolutely magical car. It's incredible shape. Feel free to reach back out to us, keywestford.com, or you can reach out to myself at 778-984-7431. Thanks for joining me today. Hey guys, just wanted to take on one piece of this Boss 302 video. A couple of the cool things that come with a Boss and come with the ownership of a Boss 302. Some of the stuff that comes right from factory with the original owner. And the original owner of this car was nice enough to pass these items along. A lot of times they're not. A lot of times the original owner trades in the car but keeps these things. And I know a lot of Boss 302 owners who are the second or third owner who would hunt down this stuff relentlessly to get it. You've got the original car cover. You've got the original paperwork for the track key, which includes installation instructions and all of this stuff about, it's got pit lane, control speeds, a 2-step launch control and how to set that up in the car. And then this is probably the coolest part. This is a bit of a promotional stuff that Ford does for Boss 302 owners. It's got a letter from Dave Parasak, who is the chief engineering officer on the car, on the project. He also then went on to become the chief engineer for the design team and the build team for the 2015 50th anniversary Mustang. We've got a DVD in here. There's a CD with the different, it's basically a digital catalog for all the performance parts. A key here that has the original number for this car. This was car number 1421, and that says right there on the keychain. Got a couple different catalogs back here, which are just full of amazing information. You can get a plaque done for the car with the specific color. You can get your name engraved on a plaque with that. Probably my favorite part of this whole thing is this incredible book, which talks about the lineage of the Boss 302, the history of it, from 1969 through to 2013, different other interesting facts about the car. There's a poster in here. Now, all of this is specific to the VIN number of the car. So this came with the car originally, and if you ever get one of these secondhand, it would almost be worthless unless it was with the original car, because again, it's all VIN number specific. So it's one of the value adds to this car specifically. I mean, you know, I wish we could say that the car's worth an extra couple grand or 5 grand or 10 grand because of this stuff, because this is some of the really cool collectible memorabilia with the car, but really this stuff is priceless. You can't put a price on this kind of stuff, but it is part of the value add of buying a vehicle from a reputable dealership where they can track down some of this stuff and hopefully have a good enough relationship with their customers that their customers, when they trade in a vehicle like this Boss 302, will trade it in with some of this original material. So if you want to take a closer look at this Boss 302, again, like I said previously, reach back out to myself. My name is Ryan. I'm the Internet Sales Manager here at the dealership with Ryan Drives Canada and Key West Ford.